I mean, other than my partner, photography is the love of my life. And so to leave these people who bolstered that, I was just like, oh,
there's something special about the people who are there with you from
in the beginning.
Welcome to Off the Memory Card, the podcast where photographers talk about everything but taking photos, because photography is only 10% photos and 90% building a life and business you love. I'm Kathleen Burns. Let's dive in. Welcome to Off the Memory Card. I'm Kathleen, joined today by Erin with Erin Hurst Photography. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm so excited to chat.
Awesome. Now, Erin is a very talented photographer, and you have this very, a knack for shooting the human, very candid side of people, and you just do it in such a beautiful way, and I love it.
Thank you.
And you have done something that a lot of photographers fear, a lot of photographers or entrepreneurs in general want to do, but they're just scared to take that leap, and that is pick up your life, your business, everything, and move it.
Yes.
And I want to get to all of that in a minute, but first, just tell me a little bit about yourself and what attracted you to photography in the first place.
Sure. So I'm Erin Hurst, and I live here in Charleston, but I lived in Greenbrier County for the past 14 years or so. I come from a nonprofit background, so I feel like nonprofit is adjacent to artistry and, photography and being an artist. So I've always kind of had an artistic lean, but worked mostly in nonprofit. And then when COVID hit, I moved into corporate healthcare. Such an interesting time to move into.
Oh, I'm sure.
into corporate healthcare. But yeah, so what drew me to photography is that I wasn't excelling in corporate healthcare. I wasn't the right person on the bus. And so I really always wondered what it would be like to just work for myself. So at the time, I had an opportunity and jumped in both feet and quit my job and full send started my business. And I'm now in my 4th year.
And you've had kind of an interesting story of the moment you realized this is what I want to do.
Yes. So I had photographed with an iPhone, my niece's iPhone, which was so much nicer than mine at the time, my sister's bridal shower. This was in the summer of 22. And I had several women at the shower say, "Are you a photographer?" And I was like, "I'm not. I'm just a millennial with an iPhone." And so I then became so interested because I was so desperately seeking what could I do instead of stay in this particular spot that I was in, making really good money, truly the best money I'd ever made in my whole life. And I was so unhappy.
Wow.
So after that, my sister was like, "You should pursue photography." So I went to this intensive workshop. I'm going to shout out Kelly Carrico Photography. She was my mentor, and I learned as much as I could as fast as I could. And at the very last day of this workshop, she had hired one of her brides to come just be, someone that we could take pictures of. And oh my gosh, my camera.
I love your energy.
I borrowed a friend of a friend's camera. You know how sometimes people will be like, "So I have a nice camera." And really, I know what they mean. I do. It may not always be a new nice camera, right? So this was like a Canon Rebel, T7 or something. I remember looking it up after the workshop, and I was like, "Oh, this is an 11-year-old Canon." It was like an F4, so it was.
Yeah.
And so we called it Pawpaw lovingly.
I love that.
All the people at the workshop called it Pawpaw. Well, anyway, I'd take Pawpaw with me. The only thing I knew how to do with this camera, I swear to goodness, y'all, is turn it on. That's it. I knew how to turn it on. I didn't know the first
You got to start
thing.
somewhere.
Yes, I didn't know the first thing about photography, so I learned as much as I could. And anyway, took a picture of this bride. Her name's Whitney, and she is just effervescent and stunning. And when I looked at the image of her, unedited, of course, and it's this big, on that little pawpaw screen, and I just cried. And I remember looking at Kelly, and she was like, "This is it." And so 3 months later, I quit my job and started Erin Hurst Photography.
That is an amazing story. I love that so much.
It's been my dream.
So tell me about your life as a photographer, where you lived before, and kind of, what that was like.
Yeah. So living in Greenbrier County is it's an elite experience. I love West Virginia. I'm from Fayetteville originally. Greenbrier County is also just absolutely gorgeous. It's a sweet, small town. Mm-hmm. We have the Greenbrier nearby, so you always have such a lovely place to shoot if that's like your client's vibe. The Greenbrier River, the mountains, just there's so many wonderful.
You just walk out your door and there's a backdrop.
It's gorgeous, right? So you don't lack for places to shoot, nor for people to be your clients, because I knew so many people after having lived there and worked there for 15 years. So people were and still are so incredibly supportive of my business. So it's been the best.
So, and the way you were describing this, it sounds like a dream. So the question, of course, is why move away?
So, people move for all kinds of reasons. We move for family, work, blah, blah, blah. I moved for love. I fell in love.
That's a great
reason.
That's
a good reason. Yes, I fell in love, and she is a terrific, wonderful person who is from here.
Right.
And so when we were chatting about where to live, we very much considered Greenbrier County just for a myriad of reasons. Made more sense for me to come here. So I did about a year ago.
Okay. Well, it seems like you have settled in very well, but I'm sure it did not always seem like that. Talk a little bit about the struggle of, leaving all of that behind. I'm sure, it's almost like a grieving process.
Yes, it is. And it was, because there's all the excitement, right? The excitement of moving forward in my relationship, the excitement of a new place. Like, I've been to Charleston a million times, but I had never considered living here. Mm-hmm. And so when I met Brittany and we decided to move here, I visited her a ton and just kind of got used to, I still have to drive around with GPS, which is a little annoying. Like, that's not a thing in Greenbrier County. You're driving around with GPS, but I still drive around with GPS sometimes around here. Even though Charleston is not an enormous city, it's a lot bigger than Lewisburg.
It's different.
Yeah. So getting used to that. But yeah, when going back to you mentioning grieving, I think what I feared the most is that I had felt on such this rise, because I was still so early, and I still feel quite early in my photography career, honestly. But I was on such a rise and then moved 2 hours away. Yeah. And I just thought, oh gosh, to a market that has you and Jeremy, the Oberports, Hillary, like all these incredible, Raphael Barker, Frank Miller, like all these incredible photographers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm entering an even more, in my mind, an even more saturated market. Right. And I'm the new kid on the block, and I haven't been doing it nearly as long as everybody else that I just mentioned. And so the fear like really set in. Mm-hmm. And it was during slow season. So like you already feel, because I moved at right after Christmas. So you already feel like, okay, like when are the clients coming?
It was probably tough to leave your former clients because I know you say you hadn't been at it very long, but a lot longer than a lot of photographers last. And so you had probably got to the point where you had some repeat clients and they do become like family so quickly.
Yes. My heart beats for them. I mean, other than my partner, photography is the love of my life. And so to leave these people who bolstered that, I was just like,
there's something special about the people who are there with you from
the beginning. And oh my gosh, I just booked a session with my very, very first client ever was the mother of a guy that I went to high school with. Uh-huh. So I went to Fayetteville and did their photos. And to look at them now, like I look at them and I think, oh my God, like baby Erin. I mean, the lighting is horrible. The background is ridiculous. Like I almost want to call up Cindy and be like, can I give you your money back?
Oh my goodness.
But I booked them again this spring. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited to compare,
Yeah.
The two, like the 4
and the fact that you're still able to work with some of those. I mean, 2 hours. Some people say, well, that's really not that far, but it is when people don't typically drive 2 hours for photos. Some people do, but most of them don't.
Yeah.
And also, like you would probably reach like a level of income you are starting to get used to, and starting over with that, it's tough as well, I would imagine.
100%. So I am a tad more uniquely positioned, although I would recommend this for photographers who might be considering a move, is I'm still the part-time executive director of the Greenbrier Chamber of Commerce.
So you're not completely relying on
just my photography income.
I think that's very smart, actually, especially when you're in the middle of something like a big move.
If you can make that work and have a transitional, during your transitional period, and have like a regular paycheck coming in, even if it's a part-time one, I would recommend it. I don't have traditional benefits from that job, but I have the time and peace of mind benefits from that job. So I'm lucky. My board is, some of them are my clients. They're amazing. And when I said, hey, I'm moving to Charleston, but I'd still like to keep this gig, they were like, yeah, sounds good.
That is incredible. I don't think a lot of people necessarily will have that option.
But the part-time piece.
Have something similar. Yeah. Absolutely.
For sure. And so what ends up being really good for Erin Hurst Photography is I still market myself in the Greenbrier County area because so many of my clients are there. And I have my chamber gig there. I don't mean to call it a gig. It's a job. My chamber.
I call it photography and gig, and I've been doing it full time for more than a decade.
There you go. Okay, good. Yeah, I think we tend to use that language. So I still have the chamber. So when I go back, I call it home. Here's home and there's home. But when I go back to Greenbrier County home for chamber stuff, I make sure to stack my days so that the 4-hour trip, the 4-hour round trip also includes, so I call it both my jobs. I'm like, so I'm going to do both my jobs.
Yeah.
So for example, on Tuesday this week, I had a chamber board meeting and I had a headshot session, and it just makes the 4-hour round trip worth it. But girl, I'm burning up the interstate. Like, so I would recommend, if you're moving, ask for gas cards and
yes, definitely.
Yeah, if people want to help support, your move and stuff. In the event you're going back, this is not always the case for people, but I do go back to Greenbrier County many times a month.
So one more thing before we jump into the actual move and what you did after that. I would assume this was a very humbling experience for you. You go from being established to basically unknown.
I knew almost no one. I knew of people.
Right.
And I certainly knew a few folks who live in Charleston, just being very enmeshed in the nonprofit world. That bleeds a lot into, Charleston has a lot of nonprofit organizations that work around the state. So I did know some people, but that's not immediately going to transition into they'll automatically be my clients and I can pay my bills for a month. It doesn't work.
It only works that way.
Surely. Right? So I made the business decision and investment to hire a social media manager.
Okay.
I thought that it would really help as I was moving, because I still had to do my regular life. I had to move and pack up my stuff. I was having surgery before my
oh my goodness, bless your heart.
All the life things were happening,
Yeah.
So I had to make sure that my business was and still appeared to be extremely active.
Yeah.
Even if I wasn't technically picking up my camera very often in those first several months.
So what are the steps you took other than, hiring someone to help out with social media? What did you do to kind of hit the ground running once you got here?
I also so hiring social media helped tremendously. She helped with my Google business profile, all the kind of more behind the scenes stuff, SEO on my website, making sure I had a strategy for Instagram, making sure I had a strategy for separate for Facebook, so that I was targeting different clients in the ways that they want to be seen, or that they're looking for photographers. So that helped tremendously. I also joined BNI. We have some BNI chapters. Have you been in BNI?
I have been in BNI. And if you don't know what that means, I actually don't remember what it stands for.
Business Network International.
Okay. And there are different chapters, and it's a networking group with business owners and other, entrepreneurial mindset kind of people. And you refer each other.
Yeah, the referral system.
Yeah, it's a networking referral system. And this particular networking group, BNI, there's only one spot per chapter for each
profession.
Yeah.
Right. So you can only have one photographer.
One photographer, one real estate agent,
one lawyer, one banker, one. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. So you joined one of those.
I did. There's 3 chapters in Charleston. I joined the one that didn't have a photographer.
Yeah. Yeah. So how did that go?
It was great. My real estate agent invited me, and I went to one meeting just to check it out. And it reminded me of some of the boards and the groups that I had joined in Greenbrier County, which was a great way of me getting to know people then when I was new at the time in Greenbrier County. So I was like, oh, this will be a great way. And so I didn't stay. You pay it for a year. I didn't end up staying for the entire year. I think what I did that I would maybe caution is if you're a photographer who's moving and looking to BNI, I do recommend it. However, I think I may have joined BNI too soon into living here.
That's interesting.
Because it's a referral system. I didn't have enough of a wide network to refer the people in my BNI group. So I was relying super heavily on them to trust me as like
when you weren't able to kind of reciprocate.
Exactly. I wasn't really able to return the favor. And I felt like as a result, I wasn't being a really successful BNI member. And there's all these metrics and how much money you're bringing in for other people's businesses by way of referral. And I wasn't performing well to my standard. Now, they would have been happy to, hang in there with me, but I wanted to free up the opportunity for a more established photographer to join that network, and I will consider BNI in the future. I just think I joined it too soon, but while I was there, it was great.
Well, that's an interesting thing I hadn't really thought about. I knew you had joined BNI, but it didn't occur to me like, oh my goodness, she's new here. Like, how is she going to?
I can't refer. I couldn't refer anyone. I could refer you.
Maybe something to kind of put on the back burner and think of for the future if you're in a similar situation.
I will say this time at Kathleen, however, because one of the BNI members, her name is Danielle Ellis, who's a client of Kathleen's, she introduced us because I was asking Danielle, how do I meet other photographers? I'd heard of you.
Which is hard to do anywhere, even if you've been there for a long time.
Totally. It's hard. We don't mean to be siloed, but it happens.
Yeah. And this is, Ariel and I talked about this a couple of weeks ago on this podcast it's not like someone hires two photographers to shoot their wedding or their family sessions. You're just not in the same vicinity.
Yeah. You're not really even you're never running into each other on jobs unless you've been hired together. But like you said, when does that really happen?
Very rare.
Very rare. Very rare. Yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the timeline. You've been here for, you said, about a year now.
Yeah, about 14 months.
Okay, so how long did it take you to feel established again? Or are you still getting there?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll let you know when. I will say,
you look established.
Thank you. Oh, gosh, fake it to make it. I will say, due to, and again, I want to just be so clear in recognizing that my situation is quite unique because I still go back to the place that I came from, that I moved from. So I do have that unique opportunity because this conversation could look so different if I was moving to like New York.
Right.
Or anywhere that's more than 2 hours. Even if it was 3 hours, I probably wouldn't go back as often.
But I do, actually, I have seen photographers who move states away. And if they have a reason to come back, they'll use that time to meet up with former clients and stuff like that. But yeah, it's not something you could do often.
Totally. So I recognize my unique position. However, I was fully prepared to be on this like, like come all the way down. So I was like, okay, in 2025, my business is going to take a hit because my priority is getting to know folks in my new city, trying to build some sort of clientele that doesn't interfere with the market, doesn't interfere with other people's clients while still serving the needs of the clients who still wanted to hire me 2 hours away.
Right.
So a lot of driving, a lot of phone calls, a lot of email, you have to be in constant communication and not drop that ball while also working with my schedule and still maintaining the chamber. So I just thought, okay, my photography business is going to take a hit financially. And girl, I will tell you, I had my best year ever in 2025.
Congratulations.
Thank you. In all metrics, I had more clients, thus more income. I had more, social media interactions. I won't say followers because I don't think that we need to like really care about that as much, but more engagement, more interaction, got some clients that way. And just,
you do a great job on social media.
That's my girl.
Let's talk about that for a minute because I feel like you're always there. Like when I'm doom scrolling, like there you are. And you do a lot of cool things that catch my eye. You do some, behind the scenes stuff. You do some like goofy, funny things, which I love. And I think a lot of people love. So talk about that a little bit. Like, how do you do all that?
For sure. So here's another shout out, Wild Trend Media. So this is another woman-owned business, which I love supporting. And it was, small entrepreneur. She is from Fayetteville originally, which is where I'm from. If y'all are familiar with Cathedral Cafe or Southside Junction, she also owns those businesses. Yeah, her with her mom. So anywho, her name's Cassidy. She owns Wild Trend Media. She's moving to Brooklyn, New York as we speak.
Oh, how exciting. Good for you, girl.
Yeah, go Cass. So I hired her when I knew I was moving, again, to help with those pieces. And so we have an outline at the beginning of every month. I provide the content. Like on my way here, I sent her a little video of me getting coffee at Mia Cuppa this morning. So she'll end up using that for something.
Oh, I love that. I had no idea, but it makes sense. Yeah. Because I wonder, like, how's she able to, like, follow that? I mean, there are two of us and we still struggle. Like, we can't remember to do it.
Yes.
Like, I was like, oh, we should have taken some behind the scenes shots,
yeah. I just
to do it.
Provide it to her, and she is a dream at coming up with interesting ways of using the content, also following trends, of course, trending music, trending audio, that sort of thing. The goal is never to like go viral. It is more to connect with clients and potential clients.
For sure.
And so that they can see who we are, so they know who they're hiring.
Well, I'm actually glad to know that you are using someone, because I was like, how is she so good at this? Like,
because I hired someone to be good at it for me.
Well, and that's like good advice for any entrepreneur too, is like, ask for help, get help anytime you're able. Don't try to do all of the things.
100%. And entrepreneurs know this. And even if you're not one, I'm sure you can imagine, you wear every single hat, every one. And even if you're not good at it, you still got to wear it.
I know.
So it's not that I'm not good at social media. I just didn't know how and when to do all the things. I also don't understand the algorithm. Like, I'm sort of aging out of being really connected in that way.
You're so much younger than me, probably. So
it's making
you can imagine.
It's making me feel like, oh no. So Cassidy's younger than me. She's doing a great job.
I'm starting to feel like a little bit of a dinosaur, but it's okay.
I understand. I do. I understand.
All right. So what are some good pieces of advice for anyone who may find themselves in a similar situation?
Sure. I am someone who likes to do as much as I can on my own because I like how I do it.
Oh, yes. Preach, yes, to the choir here.
I would highly recommend helping your ego to let that go a little bit, particularly when a transition as huge as moving, to take people up on their offer to help. Or if they're not even offering, ask for it.
Absolutely. And that's so hard.
It's hard
for us to do. I don't know why.
I don't know why. I don't know if it's like a firstborn woman Capricorn thing. And I can only imagine it's even worse if you have kids. But my God. Yeah. So, another thing I guess to mention is that I didn't have to also have the added layer of being a mom. I'm not a mom. So I am very sympathetic to someone who is doing this and also has to think about kids. So take what I say,
No, it's challenging, but honestly, everyone's lives are challenging.
Sure.
I definitely had challenges before becoming a mom. It was just different.
Right.
It's a different set
of challenges. Right. But another piece of advice, I was thinking about this morning before coming to meet with you. When I encourage a healthy dose of delusion. So don't be like, well, you can be whatever you want. I'm going to tell you what to do. But I encourage a healthy dose of delusion. So as I was like packing, moving, even literally driving, and did some behind the scenes, we took a video of like passing by the Capitol, like I'm moving to Charleston, packing my boxes, unpacking, blah, blah, blah. In my mind, I was like, I am a successful photographer. I have an established business in Charleston, West Virginia. Clients love me and they can't wait to hire me and I can't wait to work with them. So just like this, almost like a mantra kind of.
Yeah, I don't know that I would call that a delusion. It's manifesting.
Yeah, manifesting. There you go. Yeah,
so that's awesome that you did that. I feel like that's something I do too. I am going to make this podcast very successful.
Exactly. That. Yes. Lots of people are going to watch this and love it, and you're going to get ads. Just you wait. Just you wait.
Oh goodness. Okay. So 14 months. In hindsight, looking in your rearview mirror, is there anything you would have done differently? Or is it one of those things where you feel like everything fell into place and you wouldn't change anything?
Gosh. I just feel so lucky. I really don't know that I would change much, to be honest.
I love it.
Yeah, it went my way, and I'm just so grateful.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We haven't actually taken a chance to talk about your photography other than, I was telling you how much I love the candid human side. What's your favorite thing to shoot?
Oh gosh, thank you. So I really will shoot just about anything. But I love weddings.
Yeah.
I love them. I love them. I don't care who you're marrying, what you look like, where it is. To bear witness to a couple's day, it's an honor that I have a hard time describing.
That's beautiful.
It's really a dream. I just love it. I love them so much. I love weddings. I love family sessions. I love kids. I don't want them, but I like them. And I photograph them well. I love senior graduates. I think they're awesome.
And if you had to have a niche, however you prefer to say it, what would it be? That's a tough one. I when people ask me that, I actually don't know how to answer, because I think that's why I shoot everything, is because I can't choose.
Right. And I've been told that, when are you going to niche down? I'm like, what do I need?
I know they say, what is it? Riches are in the niches, but I think there's a way to do all the things if you want to do all the things and make it work.
Totally. And I also am very honest when, say a client comes to me and says, will you do my newborn session? I won't. I love your babies, but I don't have the equipment, the stuff,
Newborn photography is definitely its own art. And I used to say no to them as well.
Until you had all more of
the
your
way
stuff.
It worked out for me is I was telling everyone no. Then in 2020, we bought our first studio right before COVID. So we actually had the space to do that. And everyone was getting pregnant because it was
COVID. Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? This is the time. This is the time for me to learn. And I put in a lot of hours and money into education. But that is one of those things.
I haven't done that.
If you're going to be a newborn photographer, take the time to.
It's very specific.
Learn how to do it.
Yes.
So I admire you for that. There are things that I say no to as well, because I know it's just not my area of expertise.
Yeah, and it's not that I'm like, ew. It's just I know that there's a photographer who will do it in the way that you probably envision, and it will be a better product. So that's out. Yeah, and there are several things like that I just know that other people do better. So
yeah, I don't do real estate photography. Actually, when my mom was selling her house, and she's like, "Oh, hey, will you come to take the pictures?" I was like, No, because you're my favorite person in the world. I want you to have the best. So you're going to hire this guy.
Yes, exactly.
So I had another photographer come take her pictures.
Yep, same. So Frank Miller, I recommend him for.
Frank does a great job. I didn't know Frank at that time. It was Justin Waybright.
There you go.
They both do awesome real estate photography. So I usually recommend both of them when people ask me. I'm like, no, I don't do it.
Yes, and Rat Barker for headshots, the really cool stylized, studio style. I think he does a really good job. I mean,
headshot. His studio is actually just around the corner.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. But yeah, anyway, so if I had to choose,
life is full of tough decisions.
Oh man, I don't know if I can answer it. But I guess if you no, you have to.
I'm not gonna hold a gun to your head.
Okay.
I love that you do weddings, though. I have someone else to recommend because we no longer shoot weddings.
Right. I listened to your podcast about that.
I loved them as well, but we just kind of reached a point where it wasn't feasible for us to do it. But I love looking at your wedding.
Oh,
you can really see the love. I think you're very good at capturing true emotion.
Thank you. That's so nice. I think emotion also begets emotion. I am emotional, not but I just have big feelings, and I want my couples and whoever I'm photographing to feel like they can be their selves 100%, because I am just so honored that they would feel that comfy in front of me.
And that shows in your images. It shows that they're comfortable working with you, that they enjoy working with you.
Yeah.
I just feel like you can tell.
Oh, good. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Thank you so much.
So what's next for you? You're finally settling in. I know you say you don't feel established yet, but you are. So what's next?
What's been so interesting, and I guess it makes sense because there are so many more businesses in Charleston than there are in Lewisburg, just by virtue of the population,
Right.
And the size of the city. I am getting so much more business photography here. So like branding, some headshots. I don't do as many headshots because just personally, I don't feel like I'm as good at them because I don't have a studio. So if you want
It is easier when you have
the space. Yeah. If you have the backdrop and the lighting and the blah, blah. I don't have a studio. So I'm very clear, like I can bring my little portable studio and these are some suggestions. And you know, I have some like repeat clients who will do that, but I've been getting more like branding photography. You know, I have a friend of mine, Sean Hyde. Do you know Sean?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
But I'm very bad with names. So
Tremendous marketer. Amazing. And so he will send clients my way to help update their website and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's good to have that kind of
those connections. Yeah, totally. So that's been really fun and interesting and kind of a little bit of a departure from what I usually do in Greenbrier County.
So you're stepping out of your comfort zone a little bit. I like it.
Yeah, and learning a little bit more about, but what I think works well for doing those kind of sessions is being a wedding photographer. Because when you're a wedding photographer, you have to notice like every detail.
Yeah.
All day
And
long.
quickly.
And fast. Yes. In all situations. So when you go into someone's business and that's their baby and you're trying to photograph it to show its best sides, I think being a wedding photographer lends itself well into these other niches.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a very good point. So a little more business photography, anything else? So what about your personal life? Like,
Oh, I'm having a ball, girl.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm having fun. I teach yoga on Thursday nights.
how fun.
Yes, I'm used to being a yoga teacher, so I teach yoga on Thursday nights at the gym that I go to in South Charleston. I whenever we had this recent ice storm and the power went out,
It's rough, yes.
I would not be able to make it in any sort of age that didn't have power. I took up cross stitching, and the second that power came back on, I was like whoosh with my little cross stitching. I like abandoned that. So I love picking up new things and then not doing them any longer. So y'all are lucky I stuck with photography.
That's so funny.
It's been great.
Well, I think you are a great example of what can be done and overcoming fear and picking up and moving your whole life and still making magic happen. So congratulations.
Thanks,
I
Catherine.
wish you so much luck and happiness and all the great things in the future. And I'm so glad you're here. I'm excited to get to know you a little better.
Same. Yes. It's been a dream. And I just want to be also very honest that I am someone who just by nature has a happy disposition. And I'm like, it's going to work out. But if that's not the way your personality leans, also keep in mind that there were some trying days where I was like, what am I doing?
Well, let's talk about that a little bit. Are you okay going there?
Totally. Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I was so, everything. So I was so excited. And I was like, it's going to work out. And I had that, the manifesting. We'll call it manifesting instead of delusion. I had the manifesting going on like, okay, I'm an established photographer in Charleston. My clients love me. I have so many clients. I'm going to make plenty of money to pay my bills and blah, blah, blah. And did, but I didn't know that was all going to work out in the first 4 months that I was here. So when an entire quarter of a year is not booming, there were days where I was like, okay, should I start? I never thought that I wasn't going to do photography. That never crossed my mind. But I was like, okay, are there other other hustles that I could do just, to make a little bit of cash to hold me over or whatever. I didn't end up doing them because I didn't end up needing them, thankfully. However, there were days where I was like, okay, no matter the decision that I made, whether staying in Greenbrier, like if Brittany decided to move with me, whether it's staying in Greenbrier or moving to Charleston, it's the right decision. So I made the right decision. It just, there were some dark days where everything's great. It wasn't so great.
And how do you get over that? Or how do you get over that hurdle?
Oof.
Just keep pushing through?
Yeah, I mean, you just, I leaned on Cassidy a lot to help keep the social media stuff going. And when I was getting a little bit more engagement, that's exciting. And then keeping in touch with my Greenbrier clients. And then through some of the BNI connections, ended up doing some work with them. So as things kind of trickled in, I celebrated them. Like, celebrate your small.
Yes.
That's
I
a
will
good
preach
advice.
that forever.
Celebrate your
small wins. They're totally worth celebrating.
Like on an average day, on another day, if a client came to me, I'm thrilled with every client, sincerely. But as you get like busier and stuff, you're like, okay, great. And you have all your things that you do for this client. But when there was only like one over a stretch of time, I would just like cling to how happy that those moments made me, waiting for the next one.
Oh, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's something that a lot of us go through at some time in our career, regardless of whether we've had to make that leap or not. It's just, it might just be during a slow season. There are days when you're like,
Oh, goodness.
I'm looking at my calendar and there are no shoots this week.
Exactly. Yes, like that. And there were a lot of weeks like that in the beginning. But then, especially, when it starts to get pretty out, and people are like, okay, it's time to take pictures again. Oh,
We're almost there.
Yes, breathes life into the bones. This winter has wintered hard.
It really has.
Yeah, it really has. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the insight. Thank you for sharing your story with me. You're doing fantastic.
Thank you. It's been a joy. Thank you so much. It's so nice to meet you.
Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. All right. I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you guys so much for sticking with us, and I will see you next week.
Thanks for listening to Off the Memory Card. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like some more support on your photography journey, head over to usethatcamera.com.